Black is in the building. Yo, salute to the wolves that's up. Yo, happy Sunday, man. Happy Sunday. I went downtown, got you some content. I'm gonna put this. I put some of the content in my shorts for my people from YouTube, and on my IG. I also got up some videos. I went to Ballpark Village yesterday. It's the wild card, the playoffs. They lost last night. I had my New York Mets stuff, my New York Mets outfit on. A couple of the cops were saying that I was in the wrong city. But it's definitely salute to the police that was telling me I was in the wrong city because I had the New York Mets outfit on. But shout out to the Cardinals. They lost last night. So I believe they got swept in the playoffs, but it's all good, man. I'm a baseball fan. And I got my Ozzie Smith on. You check out the Ozzie, you know what I'm saying, Mitchell and Ness. Definitely salute to the Cards. You know, the Pujols had a great, I think, over 700 home runs. I mean, it was a good year for the Cardinals. They did the necessaries. What's going on in the world? There's a lot going on. Biden, you know what he did? He's dumbing down on the marijuana laws. A lot of people are that's called federal crimes. Will have changes in some of their sentences from 1971 until now. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's half of the war on drugs. The hippies, you know what I'm saying? You know, that's salute to the hippies that made that happen. The OG hippies, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Cam Stone in the building. Be more bike life. Was Papino. What you jacking podcasts in the background, making things happen, making that happen. But you know before we start, let me tell you where I'm from. East Harlem, New York. You heard? Shout out to the PT 131 crew, the Washington Boys crew, High Post crew, SMS crew, TDO crew, Carver Mob, FEB, FTW, East Army, Flow Boys, Jeff Mob, Lynch Mob, 112th Street on the east side. Jeff Mob, like I said, Jeff Mob. The boys on from Palladino side. Let's keep together. 100th Street crew, Hillhole crew, Lex Mob from Lexington Avenue, Hilltop. You know what I'm saying? The Lex Mob. Lee Skeen, all of them from Isaac Projects. Dead End Kids, 101st Street. LBC crew, Rush Mob, TFT. Shout out to my man Blake from TFT crew. You heard 109th Street and all that. Yeah, y'all know the block, man. 108th Street, 3rd Avenue and all that, you know what I'm saying? Exactly, we here in the building, exactly, facts, we here. The Wolves is in the building, Cam Stone is up, we are up. Well, today's show, we're back to Brim. And this is all, we gotta say allegedly, because the man's most likely is going for his, he's fighting for his freedom. Most likely he got some time in the feds. And so we don't want to put facts on allegations, even though his cases are closed. Now let's get to the get down. Let's get ready for the get down. This goes to show you. I understand people who may not realize the power that they actually have on a society of people. And you know, there's a conversation that was brought up yesterday, and I got some content, and it goes, yo, because somebody said, yo, Z, it seemed like it was a Brim takeover, and I'm like, whoa. Was it allegedly, like I say allegedly, a Brim takeover? I mean, if you listen to what happened to Dynamo, who old boy said it came from, you know what I'm saying? The situation from the situation. Think about a lot of situations that has happened over the last 10 years in that situation. His name is in it. So, I sit back and I did my due diligence. And I said, yo, you know what, we're going to play some content, shoppers. With all due respect to Crown Courts TV. We're going to start from the beginning. Now, I remember there was a rapper that had a song called Whoopty. The Whoopty song went viral. Now this guy's blowing up. His family's in the music industry for years. His numbers is crazy. Probably like 200 million views. He's getting interviews. He's on Hot 97. He's on 5.1. He's doing his due diligence. And then one day a guy named Brim wakes up, and then he makes a phone call. Salute the G5, free G5. You know what I'm saying? The jet. And this phone call wasn't to say to put working on the kid. That's the funny part about the power in power in the phone call. Definitely shout out to Staten Island. The phone call wasn't, yo, you see the young boy put the clip on him or put that pain in. The call dumbed down on his career. A phone call, that goes to show you the power of a man sitting in a cell over a word. A word that you could have got copyrighted. He could have beat him economically, but he couldn't beat him in the streets when it came to, yo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play some content. You know what I'm saying? This is the phone call. Salute to the wolves and the apes. Exactly. Salute top of the red, top of the red. Polo, we see you. The Billy's in the building. You heard? I'm going to play some content. This is live Brim. He makes a phone call from somewhere across the skies. Now, that was the jet. That was live Brim speaking from a place where he's sitting at, and he's speaking his truths to the young boy. After that, to me, it seemed like his streaming still could be crazy, but it seemed like his visuals went down. He took away from whatever he was trying to do away. So now you got to look at how powerful this man's words is to this generation. That wasn't a game conversation. He didn't say, yo, you catch him, punch him in the face. He didn't say, yo, son, you a sucker. Yo, you fool, you a plate. He just basically said, you took something that didn't belong to you and you went viral and you ain't show no respect. But we gotta say, whatever was said behind closed doors, he wound up doing a song with Roddy Rebel when Roddy came home. I guess it was another Whoopty remix or one of the other songs he made. I don't know if Live played a part to that remix happening or the reach out was yo son to show some love, because you gotta keep in mind, they had something called Jet Blue, which I think was some industry, Bloods and Crips together, but we gotta get the bag together. So definitely, so like I said, everything can't be negative against Live. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I mean? Just, and I'm just saying, I'm just doing my due diligence. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Exactly, Smalls. He had to go someplace else because he took away from whatever street credibility they was trying to do. Whatever image they was trying to push for him, Live took that away in one phone call. That goes to show the power of a man where they came over 500,000 views, ran him right to the reggaeton circuit. Made him Puerto Rican again. Y'all get back in the Puerto Rican whip. Get in the studio. Let's get Daddy Yankee in here. Let's get Bad Bunny. Let's throw tight shirts on the Sasson. They brought him back to the Sassoon source. You know what I'm saying? The jet. Now, the sad part about La is the allegations against him is there's so much violence that they attached to his name. We're gonna play some content. His name is in a lot of newer, like I told you, the newer culture. We're not talking about the first generation in Rikers Island jail thing. We're talking about the streets now. The streets is changing. What's in the streets, what's in the clubs now. Everything whoopty. My little man, rest in peace. My Chester, I forgot CJ and them cousin, man, from the Bronx. He passed away. He got killed in the Bronx. He was in the jet. He used to be in Albany, New York, and Orange Street with us too. I forgot his name would come back to me. You know what I'm saying? But some of y'all that was in Albany, you know what I'm talking about. Chester and all them family, their cousin. But he passed away, the young boy. But he was in the jet. It's a sensitive conversation. It's a sensitive topic. Let's get the 30. Let's get the 30-30. You know how I like a 30-30. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this a 30-30. Now, there's more content. It's the takeover, but a lot of this takeover is dealing with jail politics, some jail politics with some street politics. Do I think Allah was trying to take over? His name was very popular. When I was in the Bronx, there was allegations of Mac ballers versus the Hounds. That was something that was for real. Allegedly, things was happening. I mean, it was serious. The Jet versus the Mac, that was something that was for real. To the point where it was getting dangerous on Rikers Island. There were situations with the Macs and the alleged Hounds on the island. By a lot of that war, whatever was going on in the street was out of La's control because La was in the pound a lot. He was locked up. La get out, he be out for 90 days, he's right back. La had his own shit going on, you know what I'm saying, in the streets. I'm gonna be honest with you, in these dirty crevices. So, what I'm saying is, those situations wind up catching up to him. What he's in jail for, actually, is something that's wicked wild. But, we gotta let the content speak for itself, you know what I'm saying? Let's get there. And I'm going to say salute to China Mac, because China Mac, no matter what, he stands with La Brim. I got to salute that. You know, like I told you, China Mac, I don't want to interview, but I got to salute that. Yo, top of the morning, 050, the movement's in the building. Glico, everything heavy on the Glico. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We here, the movement is moving. You know what I'm saying? The movement is moving. Let me get to this. Now we're going into a story of he just took it. 10 Stacks testifies about how La Brim got control of his hood.
How did you come to switch to Hit Squad then? I went to a powwow one day, and I was arguing with a guy named Brim, who had the hood at the time, and Showtime was there. And me and Showtime got to talking, and he took me with him to eat.
Now, Showtime is a popular Brim. We all can agree to that. Let's get the 35 likes. We're here early in the morning. We have the receipts. We got the receipts. You see, these are all receipts where we're doing with the wolves now. Is we're producing receipts. And but a lot of things we have to say allegedly for, but we are producing the receipts. Thank you to Crown Courts TV. Rest in peace to Nell. Salute to Mei Ling out there for her great work. For those that don't know, I'm just giving you a rewind. I was a consultant. I was an analyst and a consultant, original analyst and consultant for Crown Courts TV. You know what I'm saying? He has Crown Court News, Crown Courts TV, and he has his channel. I'm one of the original consultants of this type of content, the legal documents. I was there for the original tradeway situation with the Shotty. Let's give you an overview of what's going on here. I was there for the AR Rap. I was there for the John Actually, I actually put together the world. I'm actually part of that project. I actually put my fingers on. The BMF, and definitely the El Chapo. So a lot of the content was just us having conversations on the phone. You should try this. What you think about that? Just conversations. So definitely salute the Crown Court CV. You know what I'm saying? My man from Buffalo, you heard? The 716, know what I mean? Discreet. Just give you an overview of what's going on. So the content I'm showing, I would like you guys to subscribe to his channel. For those that's not in America. Let's resume.
I heard you say powwow. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just try not to talk while I'm talking, okay? I heard you say powwow. What is that? That's like a meeting. What kind of meeting? It's a meeting for the Bloods to get together and talk. Who's allowed to go to a powwow? Any blood, all the Bloods could go. And I heard you say Showtime. Who is Showtime? Showtime was the GF. Of what? Bloodhound Brim. At that time, what was Showtime? At that time, he was the GF for his squad. I'm going to show you on your screen what's been marked for identification as Government Exhibit 9. Do you recognize that, Mr. Morton? Yes, ma'am. What is it? It's a picture of Showtime. Do you know Showtime's real name? Yes, David Cherry. At this time, Your Honor, we would offer Government Exhibit 9, 9A, and 9B. Any objection? No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. Government Exhibit 9, 9A, and 9B are received in evidence. All right, Mr. Morton. You said that Showtime was the GF of Hit Squad at the time. Is that correct? Is that right? Yes, ma'am. Your Honor, can I ask for a time reference? Yes. Can you tell us when approximately Showtime was the GF of Hit Squad? Maybe around like 07? 2007? Yeah, between 07, somewhere early like that. Your Honor, can we just hear that last answer back, please? Can you say that again and try to speak into the microphone? Maybe sometime in 2007, maybe. Thank you. Mr. Morton, can you just slide the whole thing closer to you so you don't have to lean forward? All right. Mr. Morton, when you joined Hit Squad Brim, did you have any rank in the game? Yes, I did. What was it? I was the high. What's the high? That's like right under the GF. It's the GF's right hand. How was it that you came to switch from Hit Squad Brim to the Bloodhound Brims? Showtime. He turned Bloodhound Brims, and he just took me with him. Approximately when was that? Between 08, early 08. Why did you follow Showtime to the Hounds? Because I went to Max, to Hit Squad with him. So when he went over there, he just took my name with him. And he just took me there. So I just stayed there with him. At the time that you joined the Bloodhound Brims, were you aware of the history of that set? Objection. Vague. Well, I'm going to allow that question. You can answer that question. Were you aware of the history of the Bloodhound Brims when you joined? That's yes or no? Yes. Yes. Were you aware of how it was founded? Yes. How was it founded? Latik took it. He went out the yard and, he told him this is what it is. I'm taking this hood, and that was it. That's what he did. When you say Latik, who are you referring to? Brim. What do you mean he took the hood? He went there and normally when you get a hood, you have to be like, it has to be voted in to get this hood. You have to be voted to get it. He didn't go through any of that. He just took it, Voted by who? The council, like all the GFs of the Brim hoods. How was it that Latik was able to objection, sustained? At the time that you joined the Bloodhound Brims, what was Showtime's rank or position? GF. What were Showtime's duties and responsibilities as the GF? He's supposed to make the hood grow, get the numbers, make sure everybody was all right in the jail and out of the jail. When you say in the jail and out of the jail, what are you referring to? People that was on Rikers Island or people that was up north, upstate prison. What about them? He had to make sure that they was, getting commissary or getting weapons, making sure that they was all right. Did Showtime use any other nicknames that you were aware of? Yeah, Mr. Dead Gang and Young Barack. Young Barack, what is that a reference to? Reference to Barack Obama, the president. Why did David Cherry use that nickname? Because he always, objection, sustain. Did Showtime explain to you the significance of that nickname? Objection, sustain. And you said Mr. Deadgame. What is that a reference to? That's a reference to Hound, Bloodhound Brims. What does that game mean? It's a greeting and response. It's a greeting and response? Yes. What's the response to that game? I'll never stop. What was Showtime's relationship at that time to Locke, the founder? They was close. They was like brothers, twins. Your Honor, I'd ask for a time frame. Can you tell us what time frame you're talking about during which they were close? Between 09 and right up to the end of 2010 or the early 2011. Did you ever learn why Showtime used the name Young Barack? Objection, sustained. Besides being the founder, did La have any rank in the Bloodhound Brims? He's the GF in prison. What does that mean? The GF in prison. He ran it. He started the hood and he ran it as well. What was the difference between Showtime's responsibilities and La's? La controlled the jails and Show controlled the streets. How, if all, did they coordinate their respective responsibilities? Objection, sustained. You have to lay a foundation. Mr. Morton, remind us, what role did you have in the gang at this time? I was the high, Show's right-hand man. Show's right-hand man? Yeah. As Show's right-hand man, what were your responsibilities? To make sure that everything Show needed done got done? And how did Show communicate to you what he needed done? By phone or by telling me what he wanted me to do? What about Locke? Were you in communication with Locke at this time? Yes.
Salute up. Harlem legend in the building. Shout out to East Harlem, 101st Park Ave. If you know, you know. Shout out to the East Side. You know what I'm saying? Definitely shout out to Forster too. Facts. You know what I'm saying? East Side. You know what I'm saying?
How did you communicate with Locke? Through visits. By visits? Yes, ma'am. During those visits, did you talk about the Bloodhound Brims with Locke? Yes. Again, what period of time were you in communication with Mr. Johnson through visits? I want to say early 2011. Mr. Morton, approximately how long were you a member of the Bloodhound Brims? Say from between, just the years, between the end of 08 and all the way up to early 2011. So about 3 years? Yes, ma'am. During that time that you were a member, was Showtime the GF? Yes, the whole time. How, if at all, did La and Showtime coordinate their respective roles when you were a member? Objection. Objection. Sustained. Same problem. Did you have conversations with Showtime about his responsibilities? Other than him telling me that, he had to had the numbers right, or, how he wanted the 9/11s, the powwows to go, like that. During this period, were you aware of whether Showtime was in communication with La? Yes. How were you aware of that? Objection, Your Honor. No. Overruled. He would call on the phone, or, he'd go to see him in prison. Did you visit La with Showtime in the past? Yes, I have. How did La and Showtime coordinate their respective roles? Objection. Overruled. Objection. Overruled. Through visits, through phone calls, through letters. What kinds of things, if any, did Showtime have to communicate with La about? Objection. Sustained. What kinds of things did Showtime communicate with La about? Objection. Overruled. Some of the rules or some of the lingo that they might have been putting together. What? Some of the things that might have been going on inside the hood. That's okay. I want to come back to the rules. I heard you say lingo. What is that? That is like a code. Code words that members of the gang use so outsiders don't hear or understand what we're talking about. Can you give an example of a code? Like, dead gang, meaning what's up, or I'll never stop. No time for traffic, meaning like, ain't got no time for it. Did you have codes for other things? Yes, we had code. Objection. Overruled. For scalpels, it was called like wifeys. For weed, it was called late night. What is a scalpel? A scalpel is like a surgical tool. It's a surgical knife used for operating. How did you use them in the Bloodhound Brims? We sent those to Rikers Island or up north so that, other members could defend themselves or whatever they was going to do with it. So what was the lingo or code for a scalpel when you were a member? Wifeys. Wifeys? Yes, ma'am. When you say up north, what are you referring to when you say up north? The prisons, jail prisons up north, New York State Correctional Facilities. You mentioned powwows before. Were powwows mandatory in the gang? Yes, ma'am. What would happen if a member missed the powwow? They would get fined or they would get kicked out the whip. I heard you say the whip. What's a whip? That's the jet. That's the hood, BHP.
Now, legend, she's reading transcripts. It's the guy actually, 10 stacks. It's his testimony. She's just reading the jury. She's reading the jury transcript. Shout out to Nell. She's just reading it. It's a guy who's actually telling. It's a female speaking, who's reading it. Who's the narrator of the paperwork.
Okay, so whip, hood, set, jet. Those are all the same words? Yes. Those are all synonyms? Yes, ma'am. During the time that you were a high, did you ever find members for missing powwows? Yes, ma'am. Besides the positions that you've already mentioned, did the Bloodhound Brims have other ranks within the gang? Yes, they have. Which ones? They have the GF. They have the founder. They have the GF. They have GM. They have a high. They have a low, a 5, a 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then soldiers. I heard you say GM. What's that? That's the godmother. What does the godmother do? She communicates with people from the jails to the streets. She's like a secretary. She goes and visits people. She makes sure all the female hounds is doing what they're supposed to do as well.
Didn't in my last video I say that? Communications put you in a position of power. Did I say that in not the last one, but the last video I did? When you're the passing the kites, when you're answering the phones, when you're pulling up, when you're making the visits, and you're passing the word, you got more power than the person in the streets. And most of those people that take those positions are females. So most of them become allegedly GMs. You heard what he just said. Any female you ever seen in these gangs that's got real power is because they're head of communications, secretaries. They're passing kites allegedly. They're setting up 3-ways. They're technically in control. It's like operating a cab company. They're the operators. Yo, go to can I get cab 405? 405. You have a pickup on 130th Street. They control the machine allegedly. Yes, because this is actually court transcripts. Yes, it's all court transcripts. It's for the public. This is public information. Now, before I press the play button, let's get to this 50. Let's wake some rules up. You know when we get to the 60, I want that 60-60 love. Let's get to that 50. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to that 50. You know what I'm saying? Because I like the 60-60 love thing. You heard? We almost there, but that 60-60 love. You heard? Let's get there. Let's get where we gotta go. You know what I'm saying?
What is the relationship between all those positions that you just named? That's all. They all leaderships. That's all leadership positions. Between the different positions, is there a relationship? Between the different positions? Is there a name for those positions?
Rest in peace to now.
It's called a lineup.
Rest in peace to now. Now, that was Wicked Wills. You know what I'm saying? That was wicked. That was a lot of telling right there. I got some more. Let's get to that. You know what? I know I like that 60. That you know when we get to 60, I want that 60 love. You know what I'm saying? This is from the Records Room, Crown Courts TV. Now, what you guys think? He's telling. I mean, he's telling. And he's breaking down the foundation of that situation. He's telling. You can't make this up to the point where he's saying with the females that's in position. And there's other shows I'm gonna do, but now you understand what I'm saying. The female who becomes the GM, because most guys ain't got time to do it. So a lot of these females become, yo, you take care of the phone calls, the visits, the nine, whatever the case may be. And this is where it all goes wrong, it goes sour. Because one worst thing about being a secretary is you got phone records, you got letters, you got, you know what I'm saying, you're right in the spots, they got your mail, they got kites all over the place, so you can't get around your allegations because you're the one that's putting your John Hancock on a lot of things. One thing that a lot of guys have failed to realize is you cannot beat a paper trail. A paper trail will always catch up to you. That's just word to wise. Paper trail will always catch up to you. And please, second, a conversation I had with somebody earlier. Somebody said, Z, what is an oral statement? An oral statement is like if I'm sitting in a police room and the police is asking me a question and I'm answering the questions and they're recording, but the police will tell you, this is the room, we are recording this interview. And you sitting there and you running your mouth, they are recording what you're saying. That becomes evidence, your words. So there's no such thing as an oral statement without it being filmed or recorded. Again, do not listen. Again, I'm not going to say that. That is what an oral statement is. There's nothing on the side of an oral statement. There's no, yo, I told the police on the block that he caught the body. And they're going to go, yeah, well, Zeke told me that he caught the body. No. They're going to need me to be on tape saying this. And then they're going to need me to actually go to trial to go, yo, listen, that's me on the tape. If need be. So again, there's no such thing as a secret oral tape. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff is not secrets. None of this stuff is secrets. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of people that names is in prophets. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of names. We're going to get back to this. There's a bunch of dudes that police snatch up and go, yo, was your man selling weed? Yeah, he was selling weed. Boom. There's a bunch of that. In most of these cases, there's 1,000 prophets. Most of these cases, there's dudes that just said, yo, yeah, he caught the body. Or he caught the shooting. Or yeah, he's known to have guns. There's a bunch of dudes' names that's in that paperwork. I know a couple that's in that paperwork, that type of paperwork. That when the person went to trial, the only way he knew that they wrote a proffer against him is that when he went all the way, they produced everything. A lot of times you cop out, you get what you got unless you have a very skilled lawyer. But most people that catch fed charges from the ghetto, they use the United States of America public defendant. So they're not going so hard for you. They're going to give you what you got. So this will let you know that. The people that get all the real paperwork are the ones that got a real lawyer that's going to fight to get everything, to produce everything. Those legal ways that work for the feds, their job is, remember, they work for the prosecutor. The prosecutor office. For those that don't know, same thing like the state of New York. Exactly. Bingo. A good lawyer, get everything, and give you that right to face your accusers. A legal way who don't care, you know what I'm saying? Throw them away. We don't give a fuck. They're not going to fight for you unless you find like a liberal lawyer that's trying to make a name for himself and he's trying to beat the feds. That's how that goes, man. And I don't even know the law like that. It's just common sense. You got 18B, what they call them, 18B lawyers. They're not legal ways, but you can use them. They're a little more skilled. But legal ways, they're not fighting for you. He walks in there with a folder like this with 80 names. You're just somebody else on the docket. Yo, Ezekiel Mathis, pull up. Yo, what you plead? Guilty, not guilty? Ah, yeah. Yo, you going to trial? It's all, your case is a folder. Just to understand how that court thing works. The legal aid works for the district attorney office. Just to be honest, just to be all the way 100 with you. There's people that's been in jail before. Let them tell you. But I can tell you, the legal aid works for the DA office. So if you're in a life of crime, just know that if you don't have no money, the people that's going to be fighting for your freedom actually work for the prosecutor office. Sounds wicked and weird, right? But it's the truth. because you have the right to legal counsel. Unless you would like to defend yourself. Unless you would like to defend yourself. Now, if you want to defend yourself before you get locked up, you gotta play. They got legal law libraries in every county. You gotta play whatever crimes you went to. You gotta play. So when you get caught, you got your ducks in line. Definitely shout out to James S. on the $5 donation. You heard? So you to the United and Fund. You know what I'm saying? Definitely shout out to James S. We're getting back to the diligences because we're getting to the crevices. Now, these conversations that you're hearing, let me get back. Let's get back. Dealt with a lot of things that wind up happening on the streets, allegedly. Now, remember, this generation that we're talking about of Bloodhound Brim, what came after that was drill, Bronx drill. That generation. That's the generation right after this that we're talking about. This in this case, these cases, the last Mac Baller case, this case. These are the cases. If you're noticing these sweeps that's happening with the Money Boss players over here and Cruz and Queensbridge projects, if you're noticing what they're saying, these guys is YGs, OYGs, 1090, Montanas, they this, that, and the third, but they affiliated with Mac Bowlers and Bloodhound Brims. So these are the generations that was in the streets. The last of the streets before it became the K-Flocks and the D-Dangs and the rest in peace Chi Watts and all this other stuff. This is the generation. This is what the streets was like. This is 2012 to like 2017, 18. Keep this in mind. A lot of these young boys are nephews or they was drops. Let's get back to the content. Now remember, these conversations is what was changing the streets of New York allegedly. The parks in New York, all 5 boroughs. Let's get to that 60, you heard? We got 79 in here, Harlem Legend in the building, James Justice in the building, Wifey's in the building, shout out to St. Louis. We lost last night, but I went downtown and got you some content, you heard? Thank you to Wifey for driving me downtown after a hard day of work. She drove me downtown to get some content. You know what I'm saying? Let's hit that. Let's get to that 60. You know when we get to that 60 love, you heard? Let me get back to the content. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to the content. Michael Measy Adams, Brim and the Bloodhound Brim streets. Michael Adams testifies about La Brim leaving the 5'9" Brims and starting Bloodhound Brim set. Let's get there.
What happens here should never.
Salute to the chat and everything in it, you heard? Let's get to that 60. Let's wake the wolves up. Crown Courts TV. Welcome to Crown Courts TV. Find something legal to do, you heard?
Or, good afternoon, Mr. Adams. Good afternoon. Mr. Adams, how old are you? 33. Where were you born? In New York. Can you speak into the microphone? New York. Where in New York?
Now, mind you, he's sitting in the courtroom testifying at a trial against La Brim Light and I think Don P. So he's looking at the people that at one point in time he called his big homies, his big bros. This is him on the stand, testifying about them.
Manhattan. Where did you grow up? In the Lower East Side and in Harlem. How far did you go in school? GED. Where do you currently live? In Queens. Where in Queens? GEO Correctional Facility. Is that a federal prison?
Oh, wait a minute.
Yes.
The GEO spot, that's where the Rainbow Sensation was at. Okay, let me get past this. We went there yesterday. We went here yesterday. We was here yesterday. Hold on 1 second. Let me get this. Now remember, this is what changed the streets. After that, we got the Bronx drill movement. Keep this in mind, party people. What came after that? The Max and the Hounds. What came after that? The young boys losing their mind, 183rd, Bathgate, Seven Side, all that. You know, shout out to the Blazers and all that. All that drill movement. You know what I'm saying? And just because I made a show yesterday, and I don't think I was very well versed in what I was talking about, right? Because a lot of times we have to be well versed here. Because with not being well versed, we'll lose the people, right? Hold on. Hold on. I gotta find it for you. I'm gonna find out for you. Know what I'm saying? Hold on. I may be able to find it now. These are these young boys. This is 12 years ago, right? This. Now this is 12 years ago. These are them young boys. They was hood stars in Brownsville. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, all this game culture, all this is running around crazy. What does that have to do with Brim? I'm telling you, that what has to do with the streets was changing with these young boys. See? And that's what it became what's better known as the War and Chew. You know what I'm saying? All that came from that. Some young boys dancing and clapping. This is like 2005, 2006. So the street culture was changing. This is what I'm going to educate a lot of you guys that's not from New York or from the world. So they go, why these young boys is going crazy? The streets was changing. It was a lot of inner civil wars with the older gangs. So these young kids created their own vibe. So what does that have to do with the Brim thing? Because Brim thing, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So the Brim situation, allegedly in the Max situation, was like a big situation that with the young kids, there was a little more independent gangs. Cliques, I would say cliques. I'm not gonna say gangs, cliques. You know what I'm saying? So let's get back to the content. I had to give it just an overview of how the streets was changing. You know what I'm saying? How the streets was changing. You know what I'm saying? The streets began to really change. Hold on, let me get there. Because we have to show you guys the seats. Shout out to Brownsville, everything in Brownsville. Definitely salute to the Ville. You know what I'm saying? Now it goes Brim, okay. Brim tries to allegedly put a hit on Showtime according to 10 stats. Just understand. Let's get this shit to 60, you heard? Let's get there.
Mr. Martin.
Everybody wants to leave every business school.
Hold on. Courtesy of Crown Courts TV. Now, let's get to 60. The important part about this is one of the charges Lyle got allegedly. I'm gonna say allegedly. The man probably fighting for his freedom. The hit that he put on Showtime. You know what I'm saying? The man that was the GF for the streets for him. Like I told you, what happens in the penitentiary dictates a lot that allegedly happened in the streets sometimes. Sometimes. I don't know, but sometimes. You have to be well versed when we say these things because we don't get nobody in trouble. But here we go.
What is a lineup? A lineup is all the people who's in charge. Order, That's just what it is. It's all the people who's in charge of making sure everything is running smooth. It's the structure. It's a structure? Yes. Can we please pull up Government Exhibit 901, which is in the evidence? Do you recognize that, Mr. Morton? Yes, ma'am. What is? It's a graph showing the structure of a lineup. Do you see where it has higher status and lower status at the bottom? Yes, ma'am. Is that accurate? Yes. What does that indicate? That indicates from the 1 to the 5. So, 1 being the lowest, 5 being right under the low, and then the high and GF. Okay, we can take that down. Mr. Morton, during the time that you were a member, did the people who held leadership positions in the gang change? Yes. How were ranks and positions decided in the Bloodhound Brims? From show or from lock? If guys were doing what they were supposed to do, they'd get moved up. If they don't, they get kicked out. What do you mean doing what they're supposed to do? As far as like making a name for themselves or going to see people or, being on time for the meetings, powwows, sending money in for the kitty. Okay, I want to take those one by one. What do you mean making a name for yourself? Being out there, whether you're selling drugs, making money, or, robbing people or on Rikers Island, turning up on Rikers or up north cutting people. The more people hear your name, the more likelihood it is that you're going to go up in status. I heard you say going to see people. What are you talking about? Going to see people on Rikers or upstate jail. That was important within the Bloodhound Brims.
Now, you see that? What he said? Going to see people on Rikers or in jail. Allegedly. I see allegedly. I got to say allegedly. But this is actually court trans. He's on the stand, speaking to the people, United States of America, and talking about while Dawn P, Light, G Light, and La Brim is sitting at the table. You see what he's saying? What he's saying?
Visit people in jail. Yes. And I heard you say kitty. What's that? That's the money. So anytime you have a powwow, you're supposed to bring, $20, $30. You hand that in, and with the money, it goes to getting scalpels or going to somebody's lawyer or, sending people on visits or just making sure people in jail have a couple of dollars on their commissary. When you said that you handed in at a powwow, who do you hand it to? It would go from me to show, or it would go right to show. Okay, what kinds of things could make someone get demoted in leadership in the Bloodhound Brims? Not coming to powwows, not handling your business, backbiting, talking about people, breaking one of the rules. Breaking one of the rules will get you demoted definitely. How were the Bloodhound Brims rules communicated to the other members of the gang? They would get, when you turn Bloodhound Brim, you got a booklet with all the rules in it, history, and everything like that. What were some of the rules that you remember? No backbiting, no snitching, take care of your brothers and sisters. Those are the ones I remember right now. What does backbiting mean? Talking behind people's back. Why was that an important rule? Because they didn't want it to look like, starting stuff up, starting with people, starting situations is called, And I heard you say no snitching. What does that mean? No cooperating with the government. Why was that a rule? It's the number one rule. It's the number one rule? Yeah. Why was that important? Because they didn't want a situation to come about where somebody would be cooperating against the organization. What were some of the consequences for breaking those rules? You can get put on the wall. You could get kicked out the gang. What does it mean to get put on the wall? That means like having a lot of people trying to get you or shoot you, things of that nature. Any way that somebody can violate you. If you put on the wall, any way that another gang member can violate you, they're supposed to violate you. Were there other consequences, Mr. Morton? Yeah, you could get killed. You could get shot. You might have to pay a fine. You might have to pay a fine? Mm-hmm. Who would determine what the consequences were? Me, Show, La, the Low? The leaders? Yes. You testified before the Bloodhound Brims was a set or a hood under the banner of NYBBA. Does NYBBA have a leadership structure as well? Yes, it does. Who's in charge of NYBBA? At the time that I was there, it was Lacey, Pee-wee. Lacey and Pee Wee? Yeah. And I heard you mention a committee. What is the NYBBA committee? That's all the GFs from the hoods, from the 9 hoods. How did the top leadership of the NYBBA change, if at all? Objection. Grounds. No foundation. Sustained. Did it change when you were a member, Mr. Morton? Objection. No, there is no foundation. It is not clear how he knows those things.
Now, this is amazing. You see what they said? Who was the leader of the NYBBA? Lacey, he says. So it's on public record in the federal trial transcripts that Lacey is the alleged leader of the NYBBA. This is actual paperwork. This is actually trial transcripts. This was said in an open court that Lacey is the leader, alleged leader of 5-9 Brim. So that's paperwork. That's trial. If you get Live Brim's transcripts, if people's passing it around in the penitentiary, they can go Live Brim's the leader. Exactly. That's what I say allegedly. You know what I'm saying? But this is what they said. This is what they have on court records. Now, Crown, this reminds you, Crown's chilling. He's with the family, doing his thing with his family. Crown is great. I speak to him. He's good. He's good money. He's just living his life. He's just doing what he do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just keeping the legacy going. That's what I'm doing. Keeping the legacy going. I'm just keeping it going. People just go check out his content. He's alive. He's not in jail. He's just doing he's just living his life, man. You know what I'm saying? He put a lot of time in this YouTube thing, and now he's just living his life. Whatever how he won, and whatever he did to win is all positive energy. He's a good dude, and definitely he come around here and there. Good dude, real dude, man. And he didn't put remixes on the paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Yo, we had 100 people in here. Let's get to that 80 likes. You know what I like. You know when I get that to that 100, let's get to that 80. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to that 80, that big 80. Word. We're doing the due diligences that need to be happening. Let's get back to, what did he say? The number one rule is not the rat. He's on the stand ratting. Tell him. You know what I'm saying? He said the number one rule is not...
Mr. Morton, during the time that you were a member of the Bloodhound Brims, how did you become familiar with the NYBBA? How did you become familiar with the NYBBA? From when I first turned Brim, I had gotten a packet from when I first turned Brim. When I first turned Blood, I got all the rules and the history of the NYBBA. What kinds of information was on that history? Objection. Overruled. Again, it's like when it started, who was in charge, all the non-Brim rules, all the do's and don'ts of the game. Okay, if there were to be a change in leadership, objection, leading, speculative. Well, can I hear the question first? Please say the question. If there were to be a change in leadership of the NYBBA, how, if at all, would that be communicated? Objection, sustained. Did you have conversations with other members of the Bloodhound Brims about NYBBA? Yes. Did you have conversations with La Brim about Pee Wee and Lacey? Yes. Did you have conversations with Showtime about Pee Wee and Lacey? Yes. What did La Brim and Showtime tell you about Pee Wee and Lacey?
I had to give somebody a haircut. I had to send them to Jersey, not to get a jersey, but to get a Caesar. I sent them to Jersey to go to Newark to go get a Caesar. This concept was put out a couple of years ago. It's a lot of information, but there was a lot going on. A lot of people wasn't able to grasp the information. This is like being in a law class and you're learning something. Things that you're hearing now, people were hearing, they're hearing it from a different ear now. So they're learning something. And for those that are gang members, it's educating them what to do, what not to do, who to stay away from. It's a lot of information that's legal, that's a legal document, how La Brim allegedly was the leader of a situation. He ain't public record. It's just like me doing Goodfellas. If I was doing Goodfellas, it'd be the same thing. So thank you allowing me to see you to get a Caesar at the barbershop, okay? Now let's get back to let's get back to the show. It's not about me. It's not about me. It's about the content. When you start coming talking to me, I am gonna send you to the store.
Objection. Objection. Grounds. Lack of foundation. Overruled. That they were trying to park Bloodhound Brims and Mac Baller Brim. What does that mean? Park the Mac Baller and Bloodhound Brim.
Somebody asked a great question. Wolf, no, it's court. It's actually jury transcripts. So it's well documented because this is actually with somebody on the stand speaking at court trial. Yo, great acknowledgement though. Well scripted. Great job. Now she's just reading court transcripts. Yo, what's his name? Wolf 17. That's dope, man. That is dope.
Trying to move them two hoods out of the NYBBA. Who was trying to do that? Pee-wee. Okay, what happened when Pee-wee tried to park the whips? It didn't work. He ended up getting cut.
You know why? Because I'm being a journalist. So why would I keep that up there for? It's not about me. It's about the story you're listening to. I don't understand this. It's not about asking Zeke what Zeke is doing. This is about the content. Tremaine. It's not about the content. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with my affiliations. And actually, I said, I ain't got to go back into that again. But you know what I'm saying? What's the word? Bronx PX. It's courthouse minutes. It's content. We're going to keep moving on. It's not about asking me nothing. What does it do with me? It's court minutes. That's it. 05 on the building. Salute to
How
that.
did we end up getting cut? Show, La, and I believe Low. They all pushed a button on Pee-wee. Who is Low? He is the GF, Mac Baller Brim. What does it mean to push the button? To have other gang members violate somebody. And what happened after they pushed a button on Pee-wee? He ended up getting cut. And after Pee-wee got cut, what was his status in the gang? He wasn't. Objection in the gang. Overruled. He wasn't in it no more. You testified already that one of Showtime's responsibilities as the GF was to make sure that the members were good. Yes. What does that mean? So, wanted to keep getting more and more numbers. Numbers of what? Of making people coming into the hood. Members? Yes. During the time you were a member of Bloodhound Brims, how did the number of members change? Some people moved up in rank, some people got kicked out, you know, and then some people, we got new people in. But overall, how did the numbers change? They got bigger. Your Honor, can I approach the board? Yes. Mr. Morton, I'm showing you what's in evidence as Government Exhibit 4. Do you recognize that?
It's 10 Stacks testimony. He's on the stand testifying against Brim, Don P, and G Light. Let's get to the 80. Content and awareness. I like that. Content and awareness. That's what this is about. Definitely for you guys that just Leslie left these organizations, they're still like a 10-year, you know, they go back 10 years. We just trying to, you know, educate you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. What is that? That's a picture of Measy. Your Honor, we can't see that. Can you step out a little bit, Miss Nichols, so defense lawyers can see what you are showing? They have these exhibits, Your Honor. It wasn't on the screen. They may, but I'm asking you to please show them, all right? All right. This is Government's 4. Thank you. Who is Measy? He was a hound. He was a hound too? Yes. I'm showing you what is in evidence as Government Exhibit 6. Do you recognize that person? Yes. Who is that? That's 10,000. That's 10,000? Yes, ma'am. Who is 10,000? Thomas Morton. You? Yes, ma'am. I'm showing you what's in evidence as Government Exhibit 8. Do you recognize that person? Yes, ma'am. Who is that? That's Top Dollar. Who is Top Dollar? He was a hound too. I'm showing you what's in evidence as Government Exhibit 10. Do you recognize that? That's... Who is... He was a hound as well. I'm showing you what's in evidence as Government Exhibit 11. Do you recognize that? That's Meth. Who is Meth? She was Hound as well. All right. I'm showing you what's in evidence as Government Exhibit 14. Do you recognize that? That's Puff. Who is Puff? He was Hound as well. I'm showing you Government Exhibit 15. Do you recognize that? Yes. Who is that? That's all.
So, what's the educating thing about this? This man is on the stand. He's pointing at his fingers and who's who and who's what. For a lot of you guys that don't understand the gang culture, this is what happens sometimes. People begin to cooperate, and then they a picture means something, and they point at the picture. Who's that? Boom. Who's that? Boom. And what's his position? Boom. So a lot of you guys, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, Tremaine, but there's more to go. You know what I'm saying? We have more to go, and we just getting you on. This is public record. And we just, you know, definitely salute the law, Brim, you know what I'm saying? And it sounds like to me, again, a lot of these stories being told, that you're hearing in the testimony, ain't so much of lies setting somebody on a mission, it's so much what somebody saying lies said to do. Allegedly. There's nothing that's pinpointing that, yo, lie called me. It sounds more or less like somebody else was calling shots and they put his name on it. I don't know. That's how it's sounding so far. That's all they're going into about a lie is what he did in jail, on his alleged takeover, on his alleged, this is what I'm doing. That's how it sounds to me. Ron Brooks, salute. But you know what I'm saying? Like I told you, it's not about me. I'm a journalist. I don't have a friend in this conversation.
Who is O-Dog? He was also a Hound. And I'm showing you what is in evidence as Government Exhibit 43. Do you recognize that? Yes. Who is that? That's Nikki. Who was Nikki? She was Hound as well. We're going to put up on your screen Government Exhibit 47. Do you see that on your screen? Yes, ma'am. Do you recognize that? Yes, ma'am. What is it? That's a picture of Kickdoor. Who is Kickdoor? He was also a Hound. The government offers 47 and 47C. Any objection? No objection. 47 and 47C are received.
Crown Courts TV. I tell you, man, in the words of Crown Courts, you gotta find something legal to do, man. You got to, man. Okay, now this is where it gets a little testy at. For any Mac ballers in the building, do not get all crazy, don't get all testy. I'm touching on a subject that might bring a little anger out. You know what I'm saying? It's a conversation. It's being allegedly brought up. Yeah. It is. It's actually it's a court transcript, brother. It's court transcripts. It's what somebody types. She's just reading it. You know what I'm saying? Now again, you're saying I don't get it. It's court transcripts. You can Google it yourself. Now we'll be having this conversation. I would hate to send you to the barbershop. You know what I'm saying? It's court transcripts. Y'all know how court transcripts read out. So unless they've been in jail before. The court transcripts, that's how it read out. It says something. You see? It says something. She's reading what's on the transcript. Definitely. It's getting back to the content. But it does sound well scripted. You should read Wayne Perry's paperwork. I gotta get you a flat top, Wolf. I'm giving you a flat top. It's time to get you a flat top. We're sending him to Harlem. Send him uptown to Harlem. Go get a flat top. You know what I'm saying? You know, you gotta send you over to the barbershop. Go get the Caesar. Salute to the Mac, shout out to Joffrey. This might be a sensitive topic right here. And this might have been the beginning of where some nonsense was created, but let's get there. Send them over to the barbershop. Go all the way to the barbershop, you know what I'm saying? Let's do this. Rush your jab, here we go. It gets testy. I know some dudes take it differently. Exactly. Crown Court TV. This one is
What is a lineup? A lineup is all the people who's in charge. That's just what it is. It's all the people who's in charge of making sure everything is running smooth. It's the structure. It's a structure.
this one is La Brim Showtime and LO pushed the button on Pee Wee for trying to park two Brim hoods. This is what this is about right here. This episode was created a year ago. Let's get there. Let's get to this. Let's get to that 80 likes. Let's get to the 80. Let's get to the 80. We get into the 80. We got 75 miles. We'll get to the 80. We here.
Yes. Can we please pull up Government Exhibit 901, which is in the evidence? Do you recognize that, Mr. Morton? Yes, ma'am. What is? It's a graph showing the structure of a lineup. Do you see where it has higher status and lower status at the bottom? Yes, ma'am. Is that accurate? Yes. What does that indicate? That indicates from the 1 to the 5. So, 1 being the lowest, 5 being right under the low, and then the high and GF. Okay, we can take that down. Mr. Morton, during the time that you were a member, did the people who held leadership positions in the gang change? Yes. How were ranks and positions decided in the Bloodhound Brims? From show or from law? If guys were doing what they were supposed to do, they get moved up. If they don't, they get kicked out. What do you mean doing what they're supposed to do? As far as like making a name for themselves or going to see people or, being on time for the meetings, powwows, sending money in for the kitty. Okay, I want to take those one by one. What do you mean making a name for yourself? Being out there, whether you're selling drugs, making money, or, robbing people or on Rikers Island, turning up on Rikers or up north, cutting people. The more people hear your name, the more likelihood it is that you're going to go up in status. I heard you say going to see people. What are you talking about? Going to see people on Rikers or upstate jail. That was important within the Bloodhound Brims to visit people in jail. Yes. And I heard you say kitty. What's that?
Oh, that's 1 minute. Okay.
That's the money. So anytime.
Got you. All right. Hold on. Get to another one. But it sounds to me like La's in jail for basically having a title. That's what it sounds like to me, man. It's crazy when you have these titles, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't sound like, I can't tell what it sounds like to me. It's wicked and weird. Hold on a second. Here we go. Like I told you, it's not what I think it feels. You know what I'm saying? But you're right. Trial. You'll call the 10 stack confessors hit on the La Brim trial.
Tell you why they arrested you? Yes. Objection.
So it's basically 10 stacks. This is 10 stacks from the stand. You know what I'm saying? This is crazy.
What about your conversations with the police that day led you to conclude that O-Dog had given them your name? Okay, so, objection, sustained. Did the police tell you why they arrested you? Yes. Objection, sustained. Did you have a conversation with anyone else that day that you were locked up? Yes. Who did you talk to? Showtime. What did you tell Showtime? Objection, overruled. I told him that, this N-word told. And know, Show said that he was going to speak to La about it because La was on the island at the time with O-Dog. And, you know, so I was like, all right. He said he was going to handle it. So I hung up. So where was La at that time? I believe he was on Rikers Island at that time. And he was with who? O-Dog. Time frame? Can you give us a time frame for this conversation you had with Showtime about O-Dog having told? Oh, this was sometime between 09 and 10. Was it the day that the police arrested you? Yes. That you testified about a moment ago? Yes. Okay. What happened after you told Showtime that you thought O-Dog was telling on you? So I was there, and the police came back, and he was like, you know, oh, the kid said it wasn't you. And they let me go out the precinct. The police said, what? Objection. Sustained. Did you have other conversations with Showtime and La about what happened to O-Dog? I had conversations with, yes, both of them. And what did they tell you happened to O-Dog? Objection. Overruled. They said that, well, Show told me that he had got the button pushed on him, and he ended up getting his jaw broke and getting beat up real bad on the island, on Rikers Island. What does it mean to get the button pushed on you? Meaning that you violated the gang's rules in some type of way, and now, like any other gang member that sees you, they had a right to put hands on you, beat you up or cut you or whatever. You testified yesterday that you pled guilty to a murder. Was that based on your relationship or your membership in the Bloodhound Brims? No. When did that murder take place approximately? Early 2000s, way before I was a Bloodhound Brim. Where were you living at the time? In Queens. Who did you kill? A man named Noel. How did you know Noel? So, I was locked up with his brother, and I came home, and his brother introduced me to him. What were the events leading up to that murder? So Noel's brother and I, started selling drugs for them on 101st Street in Queens. And you know, it was all good for a minute. And then I ended up meeting another set of people through a friend of mine, a guy named Dre Bay. I met Jason and Tiger through a guy named Dre Bay. Dre Bay? Yes, sir. Do you know how to spell that? D-R-E-B-A-Y. All right. So I met these group of people, and I didn't know at the time that these two other people was actually beefing with each other. Just to be clear, what two groups of people are you talking about? So, one group consisted of Noel and his brother, and the other group consisted of Tiger and Jason. And they were beefing? Yes. Both of them was from the other side of Queens.
BQ Mommy's in the building. BQ Mommy's in the building. Shout out to Corona, Queens, East Elmhurst. He mentioned 101st Street. I don't know if he's talking about Northern Boulevard. I don't know what. But he said 101st Street in Queens he was at. The only 101st Street I know was in Flushing. I mean, East Elmhurst. But there could be other, there definitely is always another 101st. It could be on Jamaica Ave or 101st. I don't know. But he said 101st. You know what I'm saying?
It's from Flushing.
Oh.
So like I said, I was selling drugs for Noel and his brother, and I ended up meeting Jason and Tiger. Once I met them, I was hanging out with them a lot. And then I found out that they was, you know, going at each other, beefing with each other. And Noel ended up asking me to kill Tiger. Did Noel offer you anything to kill Tiger? Yes, he did. What did he offer you? A brick of crack? How much is a brick? Around 30,000. What was that worth? So if I got it for 30, I would probably have made 40 something. So a brick is worth $30,000? Yes. Can you hold up with your hands what a brick looks like? It's like this big, like that thick. Do you know how many grams that is? That's like 1,000 grams, 1,009. And you said it was cocaine or crack cocaine. Crack cocaine. Did you agree to kill Tiger when Noel asked you to? Yes. What happened next? So...
Yo, this is crazy. But the Noel body ain't got nothing to do with lie. You know what I'm saying? That has nothing to do with lie. I mean, unless we're reading this differently, the only part of it that has to do with lie is somebody named Old Dog told the police that such and such caught a body. and the calls was made to let's make a move on Old Dog. But it completely has nothing to do with La. John Doe says, rest in peace to Money Making Noel.
He ended up giving me a gun to kill Tiger with. Who did? Noel. Okay. But me and Tiger and Jason had gotten really cool. So I ended up telling them about the situation and letting them hear phone calls about how Noel wanted to do something to Tiger and his sister. So they got really mad about that. And they was just like, yo, we got you. Don't worry about it. We got you. You know, kill him. So we ended up one day meeting somewhere. Me, Jason, Tiger, and Drebe. We ended up hanging out together. And I got a call from Noel. And he was just like, you know, bring me the gun. So I was already with Jason and Tiger. So I was like, all right. And I told them about it. So we ended up going over there and telling them to meet us on Northern Boulevard. Let me pause you there, Mr. Morton. When you said that Tiger told you, we got you, what did you understand him to mean? Meaning like he's going to pay me to do it? To do what? To kill Noel. Okay, so what happened when you met up? So me, Tiger, Jason, and Drebe, we pull up over there and I jump out the car. I see somebody I know. I went to a backyard and I stashed a gun into like some bushes in the backyard. So a couple minutes later, right after that, Noel came in. And when he came in, I had gave the gun to somebody else, but they didn't do it. So I just grabbed it and I fired the gun. And Noel ran out the gate. And when he ran out the gate, Jason fired the gun. So after all the shots stopped, I ran back out, I got in the car, and we drove off. Did you later learn that Noel died? Yes. What kind of gun did you have? It was a Uzi. What kind of gun is that? Like a machine gun. Where did you get that gun? From Noel. After Noel was killed, where did you go? So I went to the Bronx. Then I went to Virginia. I went to Atlanta. I went to Alabama. I went to Ohio. Why did you go to all those places? Because I was on the run. I didn't want to get arrested for it. How long were you away from New York City? Maybe a year and a half, in and out. By the way, did you ever get the payment that Jason and Tiger offered you for killing Noel? No. At that time in your life, were you allowed to be away from the state of New York? No. Objection. Overruled. No, I wasn't. Why not? Because I was on parole. What happened when you returned to the city? So, I ended up getting locked up and went to Rikers Island. And they ended up telling me that all the cases was dismissed that I had against me. Well, what did you get locked up for? So I had a parole violation. What does that mean, a parole violation? It's like, when you violate your parole, they send you back to prison. Were you ever charged for that murder? No, I was not. Based on your conversations with Showtime, was he aware that you had done that murder? Yes. What about La? Was La aware that you did the murder? I'm not for sure, but I believe so. What effect did the...
So, this is crazy. Because La had nothing to do with this murder. So the only part of this murder that allegedly La has something to do with is that the guy who allegedly was telling on you happened to be in jail with La, and La said, yo, I'm going to take care of whatever situation because son is telling. This has nothing to do with La. You know what I mean? It wasn't a benefit to La, but what's going on in Queens. I mean, I'm still a journalist, though, but y'all take it from where y'all take it from. This, y'all understand talking about a murder that has nothing to do with La Brim. That's exactly what you jacking. This is cooperating. The people that the people that's supposed to be at the other table is supposed to be the dudes you got the Uzi from. This is crazy. How are you talking about a body that ain't got nothing to do with La? And you understand, you go, I don't know if La knew, but boom, the other guy knew though. Showtime. I don't know if La knew. But you're on the stand testifying, bringing his body up at La's trial. You can't make this up, man. This is why this is why I'm happy Crime started doing this, so that we can see things that make sense. The government be so thirsty to convict you, they'll do anything. So the only thing that allegedly attaches Brim is hearsay, is that he said he'll take care of something in jail with Old Dog. That puts him in a conversation in this homicide. That's why they're bringing it up as a piece of evidence. You know what I'm saying? Definitely salute to Mr. White Bills, like I told you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So just doing our due diligence, this is why we're doing this, but y'all come up with, Jerry, shout out to my man from Buffalo, my man Butter. Last time I knew he was double R, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what he is now, but definitely shout out to my man Butter from Buffalo, you know what I'm saying? 716. This is deep, man. Let's get to this 90 likes. You know, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Let's get to the 90 likes. We're gonna hit the button. Let's get to the 90. This has got real serious now. Listen to these court transcripts. Stop believing, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, it's on Pacer.com. Y'all can actually pay for this. Again, it's hard for a man to fight the government with legal representation coming from the government. You need a real good lawyer. You gotta have a lawyer that fight feds. You just can't just get any paid lawyer. You gotta get a lawyer that this is what he do. I fight the federal government. You gotta get those type of lawyers. You just can't get somebody out of law school, get out of the law office. He takes shorts. He's like a legal aid. You gotta get somebody that's gonna go gun for gun with them. Get rid of that. Denounce this. You need those type of lawyers when you're fighting the feds. There's dudes that beat feds because they had paid lawyers. I know somebody who beat the feds. They tried to put him in a conspiracy, and all they had was a picture of him with a bunch of dudes in Vegas at a Mike Tyson fight. You know what I'm saying? And he beat the trial though. I was there with Mike Tyson and them, Team Tyson. In Vegas. This is my brother-in-law. The only pictures y'all got of me is with my family, my in-laws. I got nothing to do with what they was doing. And but he sat up for like 2 years to win that trial. I was in Albany County Jail with him in the 90s. If you don't know what case it is, it's when they're rocking them from the yard court, they Fed case. The brother-in-law. One of the brother-in-laws, the one that beat trial. But they made him sit up, man. Definitely rest in peace to my man Messiah, you know what I'm saying? But Messiah Eater, he wasn't part of that kid, but that was my man, Boxing Messiah from Albany, you know what I'm saying? That's my guy. Just not getting off topic, but definitely rest in peace to Messiah. Peace to the God, you know what I'm saying? He was good with the boxing with the kids. Yo, let's get back to the content.
Objection. Sustained. What was your status in the Bloodhound Brims? I had to hide. I was right in the middle of GF. Your Honor, can we ask for a time frame? Yes. When were you the hide for the Bloodhound Brims? Between 08 2011. Were you in the hide the whole time you were in the gang? Yes, I was. Is that right, Mr. Morton? Well, I mean, until the end when Show got kicked out. I had went on a visit with Streets and La. Me and Streets went to go see La, and he may be acting GF at the time. Okay, so at some point, you were elevated to GF. Yes. Have you been involved in another shooting in Queens? Yes. Was that related to the Bloodhound Brims? No, it was not. Where were you living at the time? In Flushing. And approximately when was this? Man. Before you were remembered.
Top of the morning, Corey King is in the building. We gotta make him a mob, man. I don't know why the old man wasn't a mob anyway. Salute to Corey King. Salute to the OG Corey King. He's in the building. He's here. Salute top of the morning. Let's get that man his salutes. You know what I'm saying? Corey King is in the building, live in the flesh. Salute top of the morning. Give him his salutes, man. You know what I'm saying? First generation of generations. Salute to Corey King, man. Let's get that man his salutes, man. This is crazy. It's not even nasty work. A good lawyer would have tore that shit up. You know what I'm saying? Get that man his salutes. You know what I'm saying? Salute, salute. First generation, you heard? You know what I'm saying? Thank you.
Yes, I believe so. I don't know the date of that. Who did you shoot? A kid named High Top. Who was High Top? High Top was a drug dealer out in the projects in Flushing. What led you to shooting High Top? So, at first, me and him was cool, and I don't know what happened. And then one day we was all standing.
Oh, wait a minute. What's those projects in Flushing? That's Polydon or some shit. The Polydon that's in Flushing, right? I moved some people out of those projects. The projects right by the bowling alley. That's Polydon or Polymer. That's Flushing. Not the one that's by Main Street. I'm not talking about those projects that's in Koreatown. I'm talking about the ones with the Polydon. It's right by where the electricians got their complex at. Is that Flushing? I think they call it Polydon or something with a P. Polymer or Polydon. I think that's in Flushing. Oh shit, that's the projects in Flushing. That's actually a project. Yes. Not Bland. Bland is the one that's by Main Street. Panama. Yeah, that's Flushing. That's actually a project. Yes. Yes, that's the one that got the bowling alley right by. Yeah.
Walked by. He said, "What's up to everybody?" He didn't say, nothing to me. So I was looking at him like, "Yo, what's your problem?" And I cursed him out a little bit. So we ended up having a fist fight. So we had a fist fight.
Yeah, small buildings. What's your jacket? It's not like big buildings. It's like 5 floors, 6 floors. It's like Brownsville houses, like that tall. But it's projects. It's actually a housing complex.
Then a day or two later, I was out there.
Yeah.
He ended up pulling out a gun on me.
Facts for the coach.
Then after that, like a couple days later, I seen him again. And I had a gun and I pulled it out and shot.
Shout out to my man Info Minds in the building. We see you. We see you, Hollis niggas. We see you, Hollis niggas in the building. Shout out to Hollis Queens.
Did you hit him? Yeah, he got shot in the foot. I want to turn you back to the time that you were dealing drugs in Parkchester. Do you remember talking about that yesterday? Yes. And you previously testified that you were shot by Crips. Is that right? Yes. Have you also participated in a shooting yourself in that area? Yes. Who were you aiming at? The Crips. Was that the same day that you got shot or a different day? That was a different day. That was before I got shot. And where did that shooting take place? Actually on the same block that I got shot, on White Plains Road. Besides you, who was shooting that day? Crips. It was a few of them. A couple of them. Was anyone hit? A little girl got shot.
Rest in peace now. Concourse CV, yo. I'm gonna be honest with you. The first time I went over there before I actually moved somebody out that complex, wifey is in New York, from St. Louis. She had to take blood, so she had to go to like a little medical center over there. She had to get blood from. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the first time I was in that area. Then I had to do a move. You know what I'm saying? And that's how real this is. Now, the part of the game is the game's a dirty game, man. As you guys notice, the game is a dirty game. You see, he's testifying at Law's trial about something that has completely nothing to do with Law. So you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes now this is crazy. This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? This is definitely crazy. This is crazy. This is the culture. This is what's been going on in the 5 boroughs for the last, whatever the case may be, 8-9 years. This is the culture of New York. This is what's been going on in the 5 boroughs. That trendsetted to what's known as drill, the whole drill movement. You know what I'm saying? John Doe, you might be on point. Like I told you, I moved somebody over there. You know what I'm saying? The game is over, but this has been the culture. Just like before the game culture, we had the drug culture. So now instead of the drug culture, we still got the drug culture, but it became a game culture. And these are the cases that's coming from the game culture. A lot of you guys either realize that this is real time. And when it comes to art, when it comes to the content, when we're coming at it from a journalistic view, it creates conversation, it opens eyes, and maybe somebody in the camp will see things differently. Because a lot of times when we go to jail, our people's push away. So now somebody might hear to go, wait a minute, this stuff will lie, because a lot of people don't go to court. They only go by what somebody told them what happened at court. So now people are hearing what's going on, and it's crazy. Dudes talking about some violence that has nothing to do with lie. So basically, in that conversation, only thing Lie's guilty of is something that Showtime told him. Nothing that Lie told him. Yo, Showtime said, yo, Lie, take care of this. Exactly. Let's get to this 100. We got 10 more likes, man. We got 10 more likes to get to this 100. You know what I'm saying? 125 in the building. I appreciate everything that came in the building. Even the ones I sent to get haircuts, it came back for more haircuts, for more seasons. Because one thing that the Wolves is doing is I'm doing journalism. So I don't have to go back and forth about with not any of you guys. I don't. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here for the content that's out there. And we're gonna speak about this. Tomorrow, it's to be a little testy waters. We're gonna go to Brooklyn. We're going to Brooklyn. We're going to Gowanna Projects. Shout out to Gowannas. Red Hook Projects. The thing that's on 4th Avenue, what's those projects off of 4th? About like 4th Avenue or something like that, the white projects. Whitehall or Woodhall, Whitehall or whatever they call it. We're going to downtown Brooklyn. The backbiting game is dirty and dingy and dangerous, but this is something that you have to hear. This is the man's trial. You see what they're doing? But the things that they're talking about, a lot of you guys that's probably in the mix take notes. Oh shit, I did this, did that. Yeah, Wyckoff. Yeah, Wyckoff. Yes, I'm going there tomorrow. We're going to Brooklyn tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? We're going to Brooklyn tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Free Rod. You know what I'm saying? Rod Diggs. I don't know Rod Diggs. His name always rings bells like Uncle L, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like I told you, I'm doing my journalistic duties. The best thing I could tell you guys is really find something legal to do. If you're somewhere caught in the game is a dirty game. We're just not doing New York. We're doing other cities. We'll be in Philly soon. We'll be in New Orleans. We'll be in New Orleans soon. You know what I'm saying? We'll be in New Orleans soon. Posted, I'm sending you to the barbershop. I gotta see you back to the barbershop. Okay. That's my case. Now that you keep jumping in here, because you want my attention. Okay. I went to jail by myself for a drug sale. I do not have co-defendants. I wasn't part of a wild conspiracy. I caught my 6 by myself. There's no co-defendant. There's no plug that went to jail. There's none of that. So there's nothing to detail. There's nobody who went to jail after I went to jail. There wasn't a phone call from the precinct. Yo, what's up? Where you at? Shout out to Guards and King. Shout out to my friend Unshook Natasha. Shout out to P. Unshook Mentality. So there's no co-defense. Never. None of my cases dealt with co-defense. Exactly. So this is what you want me to speak about. Something's wrong with you. Your head is mush. So this is what you want me to talk about. I had no co-defense. Nobody went to jail because it's black. I was comfortable in jail. So again, thank you. Thank you, but you know what I'm saying? I sat in court by myself. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else went to jail. There was no phone calls. There was no, yo, son, yo, where you at? There was none of that. I dealt with my consequences like a G, and I moved on. There's no to that. You know what I'm saying? Something's seriously wrong, man. Get out of Clubhouse, bro. You're doing it so long. The last time we had an exchange, just to talk on it, you threw me out your room. I had some embarrassing things to say about your mother. I'm thinking I should never be in your thoughts. I wake up tomorrow. Yesterday, you got me in your thoughts. How am I in your thoughts? Is beyond my imagination. Get off the line, bro. There's no way I could be in your thoughts. So thank you, sir. And two, I don't know Snow Billy personally. I know him from a DM. And when I DM'd him, I never knew that he ever told on a soul until he did an interview and said that he sold some type of prophet. So I don't know him. Boom. With that being said, physically, but definitely the content, keep sharing it. Because I helped set the interview up. Let's be well versed in it. See, but when you do drugs and you be online all day, your brain gets clouded and you come up with your own speculation. So I'm just touching on that. Salute from the South Bronx. Definitely shout out to South Bronx. You know what I'm saying? I have to touch on these things because I guess you want me to talk on this. I don't know Snow Billy personally. Anything that came after them, they saying that he told the story or did whatever, that came after his interview. Whatever they did to your clubhouse is what you did. I told you to chill 20 times. You don't want to listen. So you got what you wanted. With that being said, let's get back to the story. We're going into Rod Diggs. We're going into Rod Diggs. And as we go into Rod Diggs, just to let the world know, they're not just you, but the world knows. So I have no code of friends, wasn't part of no conspiracies, I wasn't part of none of that. But letting the world know. I like what Corey King just said. Things are what they are because dudes don't screen people, especially if they can get money and drugs from them. That is a fact. Somebody come through with the bag, they put everything to the side. Everything get pushed to the side for the bag. Niggas be like, man, fuck him. They'll even take a chance to fuck with that nigga they heard was telling. Man, fuck all that. They'll give it a chance. They'll take a chance. Yo, I heard you was telling, but I'm going to take a chance anyway because the bag supersedes. But these conversations are needed to have because a lot of these dudes, they don't listen to the story. What they think is real is not realistic, is not real. A lot of you hear the story? A man's testifying that wasn't getting money with La, but he's just making it look like La's my big homie. Though La has nothing to do with two of the things that he said on the stand. That he heard from La personally. But I said, like I said, man, dudes will take a chance. Yeah, man, fuck that. And this is where things go wrong at people. You gotta be well versed here. And we all, not just Bloods, but Crips do it too, Patillas do it too, all gangs do it. The bag supersedes people in touch. Even the mob has done it, where they'll, look at Donnie Brasco. No matter who said they thought he was telling, he was a Fed, they still was playing with him. Until the Preacher Connection thing happened, and then he's doing what 1090 Stacks is doing. Yo, him. The difference was Donnie Brasco was actually a federal agent. So you guys gotta understand, what come with the streets is the wolves is coming, and the wolves ain't stick-up kids, it's the police after a while. It's too much bag chasing. The bag is being chased. And we hear the cases. Most of these conversations that you hear about La that we played so far, La was in jail. You know what I'm saying? La Brim was in jail. That's most of the conversation. La was in jail. Most of the thing that said that we paid $290, we paid another guy. Yo, where was La at? He was up north somewhere. Where was La at? He was over here. Most of the things that's being said is said through third parties. What we hearing so far. But a real good lawyer can fight that. Like I told you, man. And it's deep what Corey King said. A lot of guys put their principles and morals to the side for the bag. Not just Bloods. Yeah. See, a lot of that don't really be true. A couple of dudes did that, and they ran with the whole narrative, but that's not necessarily true. Because you could get a hood in New York. Oh yeah, somebody can play that game, rile your troops up, and the next day they faded. You could get a hood, but it's on the people to jack it. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about it. It's most of these dudes wake up and they have an idea. They got some troops. Yo, you got the 1, 2, 3, 4. But by the next child, yo, guess what happened? Such and such got shot to the moon. Yo, the hood is faded. So it happens. And we saying it happened, but things just happen to people because of that. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of, yo. Yeah, facts. So things like that happen, but I'm not gonna say everybody do it. Everybody don't do that. Now, people might do something for the bag for position. That has created civil wars. That has happened where, fuck it, you got the bag, fuck him, get rid of him, remove him. You know what I'm saying? But that's in any organization. That's just not with with the red. That's with the blue. That's with the orange. That's with any organization. If you could produce while I'm sitting in jail, why I need them for? So with that being said, I'm not here to give you a one-on-one on gang activity, but just to let you know, tomorrow we're going to Brooklyn. Shout out to Rod Diggs, opening statements tomorrow morning. For those that's going to be up in the morning, 9 o'clock, 9:30, be there or be square. You heard? We in the building. Shout out to Southern Belle. She's in the building. And sometimes, like I told you, this is me doing my journalism. It's not about how I look and feel. It's about how y'all look at it and feel. And this is what the topic is about. This is what we're speaking about. And when somebody asks me a question, I'm gonna wait to the very end of the show, like I did right now. I can touch on it a little bit. It's nothing to get crazy about. You know what I'm saying? So this is the angle and the avenues that we're going to, party people. I appreciate y'all that hung out with me all weekend with the live Brim. We'll come back next week with the whole hour testimony. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all that was here for the middle of the week with Star Brim. I was here for people in the beginning of the week with with the Treyway case. And I like to salute Miss Treyway for opening the door when she said that Google. What's Jim Jones? Jim Jones is a rapper from Harlem. He's a mascot for the 9 Trey Bloods and used to dance with a rapper called Cameron. He also became a producer in a rap group called The Dipset, and he was the A&R for Warner Brother Records. Google just said that, bro. Google just said that he was the mascot for the 9 Trey Bloods. You know what I'm saying? Miss Treyway, she said it. It's in Wikimedia. It's in Google now. And now I'm able to I was able to bring the content back, bring the conversation back. And the reason why I went back to these cases, because, you know what I'm saying? And she came on the 050 China Brim movement. I happened to be on the stage when she said it. It was me, Harlem Legend, China, and I think Bugs, who else? Somebody else was there. I think Bugsy Brim, one of them was up there. And when she said it, actually, Red Rosa, you know what I'm saying? She said it, and it was deep, it was intense. And she said, boom, what she said, and it opened what's going on now. The algorithm is crazy. And we're in the building, man. And I appreciate all y'all. We doing the things that we do. Doing it just do. Doing the do. The righteous. Like I said, Miss Treyway opened the can of worms. We ain't say it, she said it. And she also said, no, make sure you drop this flag. Her words, not ours. So definitely go back to 050 China Brim movement when she's on it and she's speaking. Shout out to Miss Treyway. And she opened up these conversations. Now, the reason why we're going back to the court cases for, because a lot of you guys is blinded with so much that was going on for the world. Not just some of you guys, but the world is listening now. And they're listening about these cases now. And they're looking at things a little more different. Somebody might even reach out and go, yo, you know what? Listen to your case. There might be some inconsistencies, and we could get a lawyer for you. Because people just, when you're in jail, people say, fuck it, he's guilty. So now you open your ears up to the world. Definitely shout out to my man, AK Mafia. Shout out to Long Island, East Elmos, you know what I'm saying? I gotta go. I gotta do my due diligence. Shout out to Southern Bell. Shoot to everybody that pulled up this morning. I appreciate it. Even the trolls, you're in the building. You're in the building. You know what I'm saying? You're in the building. Y'all all get respect. I only see you get a haircut when you want to have a conversation with me. Then I gotta send you to the barbershop because now we're going too far. 2, 3 comments. 2, we good. 3, 4, you're going too far. Get out of here. We're gonna send you to the barbershop. BQ Mommy's in the building. We're here. The Ventures are in the building. Corey King pulled up. He said some wise words. And then we just doing what we doing. New York is back, like I told you. New York is back. We never left, but check out Queen's Flip interview. Corey, what's his name? Peter Gunn said that in high school he heard Bam was into some strange things, so a little bit of change, and basically check out Queen's Flip interview with Peter Gunn. That was great. Somebody else had to speak. So he's finally one of the major ones that went directly. There might have been another couple of rappers, but he went straight to, yo, this is what I heard. You know what I'm saying? So boom, check out that Queen's Flip interview with Peter Guns. You know what I'm saying? Just dropped yesterday about Bambaataa. Shout out to the BX, shout out to Soundview, shout out to Moreau Projects. Hocus 45, we see you. That rabbit hole is doing some amazing things. Got people thinking and talking. That being said, man, I love y'all. Shout out to Spanish Harlem. Shout out to East Harlem. Harlem, 112th Street, Forster Kids in Forster, 112th, 115th. Shout out to my block, Hilltop, Lexington Avenue. Shout out to the Hilltop Music Group. Shout out to my man Wiggs. Troll, Ed Medina, Gabby Medina, from Wash, from the ACS crew, you know, Money Tree. From Washington Projects on the East Side. Definitely salute to my man Disco Baller up on Webster Projects. You know, the Hilltop. You know, rest in peace, Superman Hillho. Rest in peace, Tone Lopez. Rest in peace, Shop TWB. Washington boys, you know what I'm saying? Definitely salute to my man Joe for TDO and the whole TDO crew. We here. Shout out to East Harlem, man. My man Money One was popping. ACA, you know what I'm saying? It was popping. Charles ACA was goody. My man Eastside Rex, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the building, man. Shout out to Mother Gaston in the Ville, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to all New York. We love y'all, man. Shout out to the world. We love y'all. We'll be back tomorrow. Rod Diggs, we in Brooklyn. We got some testimony from Uncle Murder. Looking out for Rod Diggs on some gangster shit. Not no telling shit, but some gangster shit. We going to Brooklyn, we staying in Brooklyn, and then we going someplace else. What? With that being said, I love y'all. Peace, love, and unity. And definitely shout out to Wifey's son, Scoop Doggy Dog. He makes it happen. That's my guy, the guy. So definitely salute to Glico, heavy on the Glico. You know what I'm saying? Free La Brim. For all you dudes that's Hound, go holler at the homie. You know what I'm saying? Get the court transcripts on pacer.com. If you care about them, do your due diligence like we are. With that being said, bing, gotcha.